So we all want a big deadlift, and recently I just hit a 5-plate deadlift, which is a PB for me and a hell of a lot of weight. And in this video I'll be showing you and telling you 5 exercises I use to get a 5-plate deadlift. The first exercise I want to talk about, and this is one of my favourite exercises, and this is a variation of the deadlift, is called the snatch grip deadlift. Now, how this is different to a conventional deadlift, a wider grip. How does this help? How does this exercise work? It works the same muscles as a conventional deadlift, but with this exercise there's more range of motion because of the grip length. It's longer, therefore it's harder at the top. So if someone like me whose sticker point of deadlift is at the top point, getting off the ground's fine, but the further we get up, the more I struggle, this variation will definitely help. Immense carryover. As well, with a snatch grip deadlift, you will feel it a lot more in your upper back and lower back, as well as your glutes and hamstrings, of course. But I feel it a lot more on my lower back compared to a conventional deadlift. Now, this is a good feeling it in your lower back. Now, if you were like me, when you used to do deadlifting and your form was terrible, you felt it on your lower back. It's a completely different ball game, different feel in the lower back when you do a snatch grip deadlift correctly compared to lower back feeling after a conventional deadlift when you do the pulley. So you'll get a nice lower back pump, which is great as well, strengthening that part of the back, which is very important for deadlifting as well. You want to make sure that area is nice and strong, because how many times have we heard that lower back's the preventing part in deadlift, it's not strong enough, you know what I mean. It helped build up my traps as well, give my physique more of a balanced build to it as well. And in terms of programming this exercise, I was running it as my secondary deadlift. So I was deadlifting twice a week, Tuesday conventional and Friday snatch grip. In the terms of rep range and sets, anywhere between 2 to 5 sets and 3 to 8 reps. Definitely an exercise, if you've not tried before and are sick of just doing conventional deadlift or want to add to it, this exercise will definitely help you accomplish that. The second exercise I want to talk about is one that you will know, everyone knows. It is the standard barbell back squat. But how is this helping? How is this a carry over to this deadlift? Well, it's the other muscles that are trained in the deadlift. So your main move with deadlifts, hamstrings, glutes, main moves in the squat are the quads. But depending on how you squat can affect your deadlift. Now, for so long I was doing the hips back and then squat type of form. I believe I was doing it just because I lacked mobility, and I saw something recently on Instagram and it got me thinking, I know why people are doing that. If they lack mobility in their ankles, because it's easier to put your hips back and squat down rather than squatting just straight up and down, or even doing knees over toes, which is a type of form I'll get into in a bit. And it got me thinking, well, people who have that have poor ankle mobility or squatting barefoot. Squatting barefoot's fine, but if you're like me, you struggle with ankle mobility, either a flat shoe if you can get away with it, or heels, which definitely helps. So depends what your ankle mobility is, which was more comfortable, choose between them both. But back on to what I was saying about the form, when you go hips back, squat up, your quads, they are still the main mover, but your hamstrings and glutes, they're working a lot more than if just doing knees over toes form. I was doing this form for so long, and it was just times before I was deadlifting, so I'd always do squat on Monday and Thursday as well, the day before deadlifting. I was always quite fatigued in the hamstrings and glutes, and my quads didn't get worked as much. And I was speaking to one of my friends about them. I'll give him a quick shout out for this, because this has helped a lot. My guy Connor, he said to me, oh, try knees over toes squatting. So I did, and as a result, there's less fatigue in the hamstring and glutes. My squats are stronger now. I feel more confident in the whole, and also you feel a lot more in your quads is the main mover as well. Although it was in the hips back form, you can feel a lot more in the quads, and it has led to more quad growth as well. So see how you're doing your squat form. If you're doing the hips back, maybe change up a bit. I changed up, worked to me, my squats went up, recovery's much better, fatigue's much better, just because it doesn't feel like it's the hamstring and glutes I'm using. Obviously I'm still using the hamstring and glutes and squats, no doubt about that, but they are not the main mover, the quads are, which is what we want. Again, we never say we're doing squats for our glutes and hamstrings, no, we're doing it for the quads. Same for the deadlift. What do we do for the deadlift? What we're working in deadlift? Posterior chains, the hamstring glutes. We are never doing deadlifts for our quads. Yes, they're involved, but it's a secondary mover, and vice versa. So if Doing your squat form, like I said, change it around, okay? Don't be scared to try something new. It's worked for me and I recommend it to you as well. The third exercise I want to speak about, this is direct core work. For me, core work is a must-have in programs. If you do one exercise, two exercises at a push, three, I think it's fine. You need to work your core. Yes, squats and deadlifts will work your core as well. Your core's worked overtime in those exercises, but you need to strengthen them. So before, I was deadlifting quite a few months ago and I was doing 120 kilos. Not a lot of weight. For me, it wasn't. It was just rep work, back off stuff. And I got an injury. And I looked into it a bit more and I was like, why has that happened? Turns out my core's very weak. I fell for the biggest load of crap in the fitness industry by far, of don't train your abs unless you're lean, or abs are made in the kitchen. Yes, abs are made in the kitchen, you get to low body fat, but you need to be training your abs and core directly. What about all the top strongman, top powerlifters? They all train their core. Core is everything in these lifts, like squat and deadlift. If you have a weak core, you're fucked. You don't have a nice tight core, your lower back's gonna feel it the most, and that lift is not gonna go anywhere. You're not tight, you're loose. You be tight for them lifts. So make sure you're doing your core work. Don't skip out of it. It's not just for aesthetics, it's for functionality. How do we all balance with our core? If we're not breathing correctly, we will stumble like crazy. I had this recently when I was doing Bulgarian split squats, and when I started doing them, I wasn't tensing, I wasn't bracing my core, and as a result my balance was all over the place. I've got terrible balance, so to fix this, what I was doing, I started bracing and breathing properly. As a result, my balance was great. I was able to finish the sets and reps without worrying about my balance going off in the first or second rep. So make sure you're doing your core work. Like I said, it's not just for aesthetics, it's for functionality. Exercises I was using were leg raises, knees up I believe they're called, ab wheeler from the knee because I don't have enough ab strength yet, unfortunately, to do them standing. Those are 3 exercises, and decline sit-ups and weighted sit-ups. So I was doing those 5 exercises. I was typically doing them 2 to 3 times a week. In terms of programming, just doing them till failure, 2 to 4 sets. But make sure they are after your deadlifts and not before your deadlift day. So I was doing 5 days a week, training wise. So Tuesday, Friday was deadlifting. I'd work my core on the Tuesday, Friday and Saturday after my deadlifts has been done. I'm giving it a few days rest till they're nice and recovered. So make sure you're taking failure. You know, it is fun doing ab work. Don't sleep on it. Don't fall full of bollocks of, oh, if you're ex-body fat, train abs or shit like that. Make sure you train your core for functionality. Hamstring work. Yeah, it's in every single video of building up your deadlift. Make sure you're doing this. Everyone speaks about hamstring work, and well, they also speak about it for a reason. You need strong hamstrings for the deadlift. It's the main mover. But unfortunately, we can't just deadlift all the time, because it's a very taxing exercise, the fatigue that carries over from it. I mean, deadlifting twice a week is pushing it a lot. 1 is quite sufficient, but doing 2, it depends how you're built, how you can manage your fatigue, how much weight you're doing and all that. But you need to do some direct hamstring exercises. And there are some which do work, that are time tested, proven, are recommended all the time, and I'm not going to say what isn't broken. RDLs were great, not as taxing as deadlifts. They're recommended by everyone for a reason. Hamstring curls, those are 2 hamstring exercises I was doing, just standard hamstring curls and RDLs. I was doing RDLs quite lightweight. Even doing lightweight RDLs work for high reps as well. Same with hamstring curls. If you can do it, allow a bit more fatigue. Stiff leg deadlifts, I've not tried them personally. I will want to try them at some point, but any form of RDL, whether it's standard, snatch grip, deficit even, and hamstring curls, they do the job. Twice a week on both. Don't need to go heavy. They work for me, they'll work for you. Time tested, proven exercises, great exercises. The last exercise I want to speak about is just back work, but more specifically, how much back work to do. The whole rear part of your body is involved in deadlift. In fact, isn't it about 78% of your body's involved in the deadlift? Something crazy like that. But your back is to stabilise, especially the lats. So we're going to be targeting hitting the back quite a lot directly. Isolation work. I was training back directly with isolation work 4 times a week. So there's only 1 day a week where I wouldn't train it. And the only day which it wasn't targeted isolation wise was on the Friday when it was a snatch grip. the snatch grip works the back a lot more than conventional deadlift. So for me, I thought that's enough back work. I think I tried doing some extra back work on the day, it just didn't feel right. I feel like my back was already exhausted a lot. I say 4 times a week if you're doing 2 deadlift sessions a week, works fine. Fatigue, the back's a huge muscle. There's a lot of potential for the back in everyone. I've got to shout out a lot of people watching YouTube like Natural Hypertrophy for saying about back work. I was doing a ton of back work now in my 10-week program where I was increasing my deadlift to 225 plates. I have to credit a lot of back work. Definitely do your back work. So to recap, do your hamstring work, your back work, don't skip on squats as well, don't skip on core work, and make sure you're doing the snatch grip deadlifts. Give it a try. I love that exercise. It'll be back in my program soon because how well it works for me, and I know it'll definitely work well for you. So thanks for watching this video of how I built up a 5-plate deadlift using these exercises, and yeah, catch you in another video.